We're going to be joined this morning by Donelle Brooks, Head of Lend Third Party, who's going to be presenting on SME alternate lending space. However, just before we get started, I just wanted to remind everybody that we've turned your microphones off during the presentation, so you're all safe. Should you wish to ask any questions, however, this morning during the presentation, please provide these in the chat box on the control panel for the webinar. So I'm assuming for most of you it'll be on the right-hand side of your screen, little box that comes up that says chat. Just make sure you put any questions in there for me and we'll get those answered at the end of today's webinar. And if we don't get it verbally answered, Donelle will actually respond to you via direct message. Please note that we're also experiencing some technical difficulties at the moment as the worldwide internet is having a few problems. Apparently working from home has caused it to have a bit of a temper tantrum, so bear with us either way. We are recording this morning's session and it will go up onto our YouTube channel following this, so give us about 24 hours and we'll have it up and running on there. Mariah from head office will actually be sending you a link out with that, and she'll also send you the CPD code at the same point in time. So what I'm going to do, I'm just going to get Donelle to log in with me for a second. So Donnie, if you can turn on your webcam for me. We'll try and get this handed over quite civilly this morning. So Don, before we actually get started on your presentation, what I want to do is just ask you, how's things going on your side of things? Because the last 3 weeks I know I now have cabin fever, and also how's the team at Len going?
Yeah, hey, thanks Leah, and good morning to everyone who has taken the time out of your day to attend this presentation when, you know, this space is certainly conflicted at the moment. Leah, mate, honestly, I'm the same as you. Extroverts struggle being kept indoors, but you know, certainly technology is allowing me to spend a bit more time behind the desk. I'm getting plenty of things done on my to-do list that I carry over from day to day to day to day to day. My heart is a little heavy and sad for a lot of my, you know, peers and previous clients that I've worked with who have had a pretty tough time over the last few weeks. So, but you know, here at Lend, we're strong. We're working on our platform. We're working with lenders all the time, and so I guess that's the piece that I would like you to take out of today is that there are still lenders lending, and the niche is small. But through the Lend platform, you know, we're changing our criteria sometimes 6 or 7 times a day as our lenders are letting us know where their appetite sits. So there is still business out there to write, and we're having a fair bit to do at the moment with the actual disbursement of funds through the stimulus packages, hoping that, you know, we'll be able to assist in making sure that, you know, our SMEs can get their money quickly and that brokers have got somewhere where they can go, where they know they can just address a lot. So that's where we're at.
I'm glad you guys are going well. So guys, from my side of things, I'm actually going to hand over full time now to Donelle, who's going to take you through the brilliant presentation that we have from herself and the Lend team. So enjoy the morning and I'll be back towards the end of it.
Okay, so again, guys, thanks so much for your time, and we'll kick off now with the presentation on SME lending. So, look, according to a study that was done last year through Eastern Partners for ScotPac, less than 18% of our SMEs actually see their bank as a preferred lender for future growth, and that's down from around 40% in 2014. And some information is also going to come out today on a survey we've done with some SMEs now, and you know, nearly 80% of the SMEs are worried about how this money is going to be distributed through the major banks, and if they're not already a bank worthy client, then how are they going to get access to funds? So it's really been able to breed this environment for alternate lenders, and again, it's just because it's harder to get a loan from the bank. The research also showed that 1 in 4 small business owners who have applied for bank finance have actually been rejected. And we've seen again already out there that for some of the stimulus packages, you know, we're going to require 2 years of financials, full financials for directors, personal financials, access to accounting packages, and last but not least, which I'm hoping is going to be rectified, is a 12-month cash flow projection. pretty interesting question to ask on an application for stimulus funds. So I'm hoping that someone somewhere is going to have a look at that. So when we have a look at why the rise in the alternate lending market, alternate lenders have the ability to utilise technology and provide efficient and effective lending services to undeserved businesses and individuals, which allows them to penetrate the market and find success. So fintechs, they have the ability to leverage a broad set of data and machine learning, and that allows them to reach further into small business lending market than incumbent banks. So by asking a range of questions and receiving some information or pieces of data from your clients, we can predict whether your client, A, can service a loan, secondly, whether they qualify, and for a targeted amount, what would they actually qualify for? And that's what technology companies in the alternate lending space can provide. So we have a look at what are the top 7 SME products, and there are lots, guys, but the top 7. And the reason why I've got equipment and asset up at number 1 at the moment is because obviously with the tax offset going from 30K to 150K, there are a lot of businesses out there, 2 years asset backed, and are still, well and truly qualified to receive funds for equipment or asset purchases. Invoice factoring is also another strong product at the moment. Unsecured short-term loans, and that's what we're used to seeing in this space, and certainly that area has changed a lot in the last 3 weeks. Secured short-term loans up to 24 months, caveat lending, so that may fall into bridging loans, interest only, or capitalised interest. Line of credit, we've seen the rise in the line of credit through some of our alternate lenders offering that as a product. And then obviously the overdraft facility, which we've seen Get Capital launch this year as well. Diversify or die. We've been through this many times. If you're a commercial broker, look after your resi clients. If you're a resi broker, look after your commercial clients. More than ever, as a broker, you need to be a one-stop shop. And Mariah is also going to share for you all after this a link to a COVID-19 page, which outlines all of the stimulus products available, links to government websites. It's quite an in-depth page. We update it 3 times a day, and you're free to use it, link to it, send it to your clients, whatever use you feel it has in your business. And it is a very in-depth page around everything COVID stimulus. And as I said, again, your clients will remember you holding their hand through this time. So the diversification conversation obviously came up again at the RC, but the how and why is often the piece that's missing. And, one of my great peers, Paul Murray said a couple of weeks ago that, this conversation around diversifying was being had 10 years ago, and those people are still looking to diversify now. So the Lend platform makes it easy for you. And now I'm going to go into a little bit more around why alternate lending, and then how the Lend platform can actually support you. So 4 quick tips to start entering into the alternate commercial lending market. For my resi brokers, and you all have commercial clients. So in your database, you've done a home loan, or you've assisted with a commercial property purchase. Email and SMS those clients. Let them know that you've got some new products available. Let them know you can help them with their commercial asset and equipment finance. Tap into other professional alliances, especially now. You all know accountants, you all have lawyers, and everyone is going to be looking to a broker to provide them with the right information. And just remember, guys, while we have a much bigger percentage of our economy affected by COVID, there are still some really strong businesses out there who need access to cash flow. Get a dedicated landing page on your website to attract inquiries. It's easy, it's very, very cost effective, and at least then you're directing traffic to an actual page. And guys, get on LinkedIn, social posting now more than ever, videos, webinars, images work really well on social. So where you can attach an image and let people know that you're out there and that you've got commercial products available at your fingertips and that you're there to help them. So why businesses use the alternate commercial lending market, and we'll touch on that. So trading less than 2 years, and guys, I'm actually gonna, have a condition on that. At the moment, one of the biggest changes in the alternate lending space is that you must be trading for 2 years. So that is a change to criteria as a result of COVID-19. So that first point, we're all on the same we're all on the same line with the banks. So 2 years minimum trade is now definitely a requirement. But these other things are still what make a huge difference between bank approvals and alternate lending approvals. So if your financials are not up to date for 2 years, if you have outstanding ATO debt, speed of funding. So, the guy who can buy the container of hand sanitizer that's sitting in customs for 100,000, he needs that money now. He's going to realise the value of selling that hand sanitizer, as we all know, but he needs 100,000 now. He can't wait 3 or 4 weeks for the answer. Flexibility of payments, daily, weekly, fortnightly, monthly, and term flexibility. Such a large number of alternate lenders don't penalise you for paying out your loan early. Multiple loan purposes. So where you have a business who may want to borrow 50 or 60,000, to do some repairs, to do some advertising, and maybe to clear up 20K of their tax debt. Multi-loan purposes are a really hard reason or a loan purpose to get across with banks. And then last but not least, credit impairment. And certainly in my previous role, working with Business Fuel, that was one thing we always looked at, was what was actually inside the credit file. So, is a director who has a utility default from 3 or 4 years ago, is that really a reflection on the creditworthiness of his business right now? Look, no, it probably isn't. But is the director with $150,000 default to the ATO unpaid, is that? Yeah, it probably is. But as we know, with the inconsistency sometimes in credit reporting, those two directors could hold exactly the same score. So again, credit impairment is another reason to seek alternate lenders. Look, our chairman, Peter, stated off the back of our commercial masterclass series last year that the important thing is to know the client, know the business, know the lenders in this space, because there are so many options in business and commercial lending. Brokers need to understand what they are after and what lenders have particular appetites for, because that will have really huge benefits as to their niche in the business and lending community. Again, guys, we talk about that whole of business, how to make your client sticky. Our CEO, Bill Baker, today, the Lend platform is the fastest and most sophisticated platform for Australian business finance brokers. The platform automates the process of matching a lender to a SME using a sophisticated combination of AI and analytics. It does all of this without blemishing the applicant's credit score, and is intelligent enough to determine whether a customer can service the loan they actually want. So take the guesswork out, as in Peter's quote, find out about the lenders, find out about their niches. Have you got time? Is this the main focus of your business? The Lend platform does it for you. It's an all-in-one platform, guys. It's a single application facility. One application form, including the ability to collect back statements through Illion. And that's where we find one of the biggest values. So if you already have great existing relationships with some alternate lenders, you can set your preference up to send your deal to them first. But what happens when unfortunately your client's declined? It's another portal, it's another login, it's a different application form, and it's another process. The Lend platform is an all-in-one, one application form to access all of the lenders. Instant analysis assesses the probability of obtaining a loan, and Best Lender Match presents the most suitable lender to you. Choose which lender you want to send the application to. Lenders that can't help you won't be shown, or you can set it to auto select. So again, now when you access the Lend platform, where there may have been 9 or 10 options for a particular scenario, now there may only be 3 or 4, but again, there are still options out there. If a lender is unable to help, you can send to the next lender without filling in that application form again, and you don't have to upload the statements again. So real-time status updates from all of our lenders, enabling much better client communication, end-to-end deal flow, including notifications for complete control and transparency. And you can choose. So you can run the deal, excuse me, you can run the deal and you can have the lender contact you directly, or you can simply have the lender contact your client directly, and you get to choose during the process. There's CRM tools available inside the platform for you. So there's serviceability calculators, there's a task section, you can SMS your client from the platform. The process does not impact the client's credit file. And we pay you your commission on the same day that the loan settles. So to have a quick look, this is what your dashboard would look like when you log into the Lend platform. And you can see that you can select which leads you want to look at. So whether it's pending leads or attempting leads or your settled leads. You also, over in the far right-hand corner, have the ability to change your lending preferences, look at commission rates and lender profiles, and also we provide lead forms and banners, etc., for marketing in there. Obviously, we have a nice, basic, simple key metric dashboard. So it'll tell you your conversion rates, your commissions, and you can also break up your graphs into new and refinance. Obviously, we pay trail for resi brokers, so we pay trail or refinance commissions through the platform as well. This is your account preferences section. So this is where you can say, you know, you'd prefer your leads to be sent to a certain lender or not to be sent to a certain lender. Whether you collect bank statements yourself, then if you do, we will present a broker flow document ID text field for you to put that in there for us to pass on to the lenders. Otherwise, you can collect them through our process. And who the lender should contact. You can set it up as an overall preference, or you can purely do it lead by lead. So Lend Score and Lend Size are our two proprietary tools that we have. So with Lend Score, we actually have a look at a range of data inside the bank statements, and we drill down into average day balance, how many days in overdrawn, how many dishonours. We have a look at concentration risk, so how many deposits per month is the client receiving, and what is actually the true revenue. So not, you know, director loan credits or Medicare credits going into a work account. We actually look at true revenue and then give an overall score. And we know from all our testing that, you know, anytime you have a Lend Score that is over 80, you have got a very, very high chance of conversion, and anything over 60 also increases your conversion to up over the 50% mark. If you don't collect bank statements on the way through, what we also then, which you can see on the right-hand side, is our Lend Size product. So we have millions of lines of criteria from lenders sitting in the back end of our system. And when we don't have bank statements to provide that financial analysis, we look at things such as industry, length of trade, estimated monthly revenue against the actual amount that is to be borrowed, and their estimated monthly expenses. And those 5 things are key to all alternate lenders. So then we can say, okay, based on those 5 things, you meet the criteria of XYZ lender. You then as a broker still get to choose if you wanted to send this particular example on the right hand side to get capital. You would tick the get capital box and click your send to lender button. So, and you can actually see there that based on the information that is inputted gives you an estimated lend size. So if you have a client who wants to borrow $50,000 and is turning $10,000 a month, then you're not going to have a lend size of $50,000 presented to you. You're going to have a lend size of around the $10,000 mark. So again, in that alternate lending space, especially with cash flow, you're not going to exceed 100% of your client's cash flow in this current climate. So that's probably something to really keep in mind right now as well. Here is what a lead actually looks like. So you can click in and have a look at the details. You can see that this particular client didn't upload their bank statements through the process, but obviously the funder, being Prosper, was able to grab the bank statements from that client through their transaction. And from here, you can drill in, you can have a look at the notes, you can see everything in here that you need to. You can see the history, and this really speaks to real-time updates and status updates for you. So you can see that this lead was sent at 4:15 on the 27th, and then you can see the journey that the lead's taken, and you would have received notifications of this journey across the whole time frame with your client. So on the 27th of January at 4:15, it was sent and opened, and then at 9:25, 3 days later, it was settled and funded. So you get to see this full journey of your client, even if it moved on and was unable to be funded through the first lender. You would see the reason code, you would see why, and you'd have an ability to send it to another lender if it matched. You can see here on the right hand side, these are our CRM tools. So we've got a couple of calculators in there. As I said, you can SMS the client. You can write your own notes. So the notes in the CRM tools are for you and not for the lender. Otherwise, when you actually add a lead, that's where you have your ability to put in lender notes. So guys, that's really the end of the presentation as far as this alternate lending environment is concerned. I'd be really happy to take questions, especially about the current environment. So if anyone wants to throw out a couple of questions, I'm more than happy to answer them now while we've got a bit of time. I'm also aware that Deanne has got a fantastic Zoom call on this morning. So if we can actually finish up a bit quicker to allow people to be able to jump onto that one as well, then that would be great. But otherwise, has anyone got any questions out there around the Lend platform and the current environment at the moment?
They certainly do, Donnie. So guys, I'm going to read through some of the questions that have been put online this morning, and Bill, just to give you an answer. So Bill Fast, just to give you an answer to yours, you certainly can run a scenario. What I'll get you to do though is I'll get Donelle to get directly in contact with you to run that scenario with you. This is all exciting.
Just on that, Leah, thanks, Bill. Look, we're more than happy for you to pick up the phone, and if Leah's still sharing my screen, I'll leave this up here so you can grab my details as well. But certainly that's my background. I've been a broker, I've worked with a couple of alternate lenders, and obviously have our finger on the pulse right now about who's lending, who isn't, and what the changes in criteria are. So if you want to ring me and chat about a deal and see if we think it can be placed somewhere, more than happy to have those conversations.
Awesome. So guys, I'm going to start with Rowan Burgess. Your question was, have you seen the minimum 2 years in business across the board or just with the lenders you deal with? So Donnie, that's for you.
Thank you. Look, Rowan, at the moment, all lenders on our panel, including a couple of the new ones that have jumped on board this week that are still lending, we are definitely seeing 2 years across the board. And we're also seeing it in the bank stimulus package loans as well, that it's a 2-year minimum requirement. Those
awesome.
that aren't on the panel, I can't speak for, obviously, Rowan. If you're not on the panel, then I'm not aware. But for everyone that's on the panel, which is about 80% of 90% of the alternate lenders, yeah, 2 years it is.
So David Heads asked the question, my aggregator is Connective. How do I become accredited with Lend?
Definitely. Look, and that's a great question. And first of all, we would obviously really promote that is something that, you know, is okay with Connective. Obviously, the platform allows you to submit one application and then be able to access a range of lenders. You could set up your panel lenders as references in the Lend platform to ensure that you're meeting your obligations. But certainly the registration, if you're an FBAA, MFAA or CAFPA member, then your verification is 100% automatic due to the processes that you go through to get that membership. So I would definitely just get the okay. We've got Connective brokers using the platform now. So even if you want to give a ring and have a chat about that offline, I'm more than happy to do that.
Awesome. Sorry, I'm multitasking and it's not doing well for me this morning. So Alan Machingo says, how is seasonal business treated? So COVID-19 times aside, say a business is accounting, 80% of the income is made from obviously July to October. What if statements are taken between January and March when it's a quiet period?
Absolutely. And so, look, that's why most lenders now, it's a really good question, are starting to look at 12 months worth of bank statements to be able to actually see that seasonal income rather than just class it as what we would normally call old school lumpy. So now they're trying to look at 12 months and going, okay, is this a pattern? Is it seasonal? And then looking at the industry. The other thing is too, there are some lenders out there, and one of our new lenders who we onboarded yesterday at Banjo are really looking at financial as opposed to cash flow. So we've got a couple of those lenders who are looking at financials, which then blows the cash flow theory out of the water. But definitely 12-month statements are the way to go, and a really clear explanation. That's all I can tell you. The notes field is there, and when you're submitting a deal, you can let the lender know that, hey, this guy's a harvester, or, you know, this guy's got cattle. These 6 months of the year are stellar. These 6 are quiet, but obviously the cash flow is very, very healthy. The more information you can provide to the lender at the moment, they're really interested in hearing the story.
Perfect. I'm just going to skip that one. So Marianne Rayner has asked Donelle if you can email her a list of lenders that are on your panel. Now, I'm not sure if they're already on your website, so you might want to shed some light onto that one for me.
Yeah, absolutely. And Marianne, I'd be more than happy to send you the list of lenders that are on our panel. And also then we've had a couple of additions, obviously, in the last 2 weeks. So if you take my email down now that's on the screen and shoot me an email and I'll send it back to you. Because the lending environment is changing rapidly at the moment, when you're presented with a lender in the system, you can be guaranteed that that lender is lending. And that's probably the main piece of comfort that you need to get, is if a lender appears on a scenario, it means that they can help you.
Awesome. Terence Bailey would like to ask if there's any trail paid on commercial transactions.
Absolutely. So in the system, we actually show you in the preferences section what the commission is for new business and what the commission is for your trail. And we don't hide that. As I said, we pass on 100% of the commission to you as a broker. So we do not take a clip on your commission at all. And so that trail really is dependent per lender. So again, if you want to jump on and register or shoot me an email, then I can give you access to the platform and you'll see exactly what each lender's trail is.
Perfect. Malcolm McPhee would like to know, does Lend handle home loans as well?
No, we do not. I'm sorry. We are a strict commercial platform, and no, we don't facilitate home loans.
That's quick and easy, painless. Jessie Bruno would like to know if she aggregates through Plan, can she also be accredited with Lend, which I think we ticked off up the top end, but do you just want to run that through again quickly for us?
Absolutely. Look, we're here to support every broker, and we understand that our platform will make your life a lot easier and a lot quicker, and gives you a lot of information to support your product selection for your client. All we ask is that you do just check it off with your aggregator. We have plenty of brokers using our system and settling deals right now, so that are with aggregators. So please, all I ask is that you just double check with them, and otherwise there is no issue. FBAA members are 100% automatically accredited. So if you shoot me an email or accredit yourself, then we're here to help. That's all I can tell you. Check with your aggregator and we're here to help.
Alan Marchenko would like to ask a second question this morning. I'll tell you what, he's a lucky man. So his second question today is, how are joint ventures treated? So say there's a 50-50 split between two business owners, but the income is generated within the same business but paid to separate companies.
Yep, so
that
definitely there's...
might
Yeah, and look, I'm happy to chat through that with you. There's only a couple of lenders in that space at the moment, and typically if they're paid to separate companies, then they will request that all companies are listed on the loan contract, but there are a couple of ways around that with different lenders. So give me a call or shoot me an email. I'm happy to divulge a bit more around that.
Perfect. David Head also asks, if a client has a history of excesses on their overdraft and a history of dishonours and requiring working capital, and their existing bank are adamant no further lending, is he wasting time putting his deal up into the Lend platform? And he also adds to that, the business has an annual turnover of 10 million.
Okay, so what we're looking at, and I'd be happy to have a chat to you because I would need some numbers. So alternate lenders are looking about percentage of days overdrawn, whether they have an overdraft facility, and that is what's overdrawn. And then thirdly, the amount of direct debits. So if you're a client who's got 200 direct debits a month, and you've got 20 dishonours a month, that's actually only 10% of your total direct debit volume. So I can share some numbers around that with you, and you can give me a bit more detail, and I'm happy to let you know whether I think it would float with someone or not. But they're looking at percentages. So those things are okay in the alternate space, just how much.
Perfect. Marianne Rayner's got one last question for us this morning. Actually, we've got another one that's just come through as well, snuck in. Marianne would like to know, how does commission splits work with current aggregators? So if you're accrediting them through their particular aggregator, how will the commission splits work through that aggregator?
Yep, so again, at the moment, the way our platform is designed is that we pay the registered broker full commission from the lender on date of settlement. So you would need to have your aggregator reach out to us. We are more than happy to discuss aggregator payments. There is absolutely no issue with that, but our platform is designed to reward the broker 100%. And so therefore, that's our model. We will pay you the 100% commission.
Brilliant. And final question from Marianne as well. She'd like to know, would you be able to find a lender when personal guarantees are not available due to multiple shareholders?
No. Sorry, simple and easy, but no. Look, at the moment, guys, especially again in this environment, all lenders have a personal guarantee in their contract for all directors, and some of the alternate lenders definitely are looking at shareholder requirements, but yeah, typically all directors will have a personal guarantee.
Brilliant. Jessie, I'll let you ask that question, so I'll get you to get in contact with Donelle offline about that one. It's a bit of a tongue-in-cheek of how does Lend actually make money. But, Donnie, if you want to answer that in front of the audience, you can. If not, you can answer that directly with
I'm
Jessie.
more than happy. No, Leah, I'm more than happy to answer it because, to be honest with you, it's a question that gets asked all the time. you know, because obviously the platform's free and you can SMS and you can get bank statements, and, you know, sometimes it actually does sound too good to be true. But like anyone, we make our money on volume, and that's as simple as that. There's no subscription fee to the... Yep.
Perfect. So guys, we are going to leave it there this morning. Donnie, I do want to say thanks. It's been a brilliant session this morning. Just a reminder to everybody that we will be putting the webinar up onto the FBAA YouTube channel, so anybody can access it. And in case you didn't have enough coffee this morning and you kind of missed anything and you want to watch it again, it'll be up there within the next 24 hours. Mariah will send that link through for you. It will turn up on your email with this session's CPD code. Again, I want to thank you for joining us this morning. Don't forget that if you need anything at all from the FBAA, please let myself know. And now that's to the East Coast, we have Mark Winderham, who has joined us on the West Coast of Australia looking after WA, NT and SA. So feel free to reach out to Mark as well if you've been up early enough to join us from the West Coast of Australia. Guys, I do want to say closing comments from me though, stay healthy, stay informed, most importantly, stay connected. And we do hope to see everybody again next time. So until then, we'll be in touch. Thanks, guys.
Thanks, everyone.